Cumberland, Maryland, my hometown, and this is the Dam Tavern. The Dam Tavern is one of the, there are a lot of bars that you go to in these hipster kind of areas that want to look like the Dam Tavern. This is the genuine article. My buddy ordered a Keystone Light, it was $1.80. There aren't a lot of these places left. They got old school shuffleboard, old school jukebox. This is one of my dad's Friday after 5 spots, so we kind of had him lured here by my 2 buddies that he knows and loves, and then we came in and surprised him. So I think everybody's having a good time. We need to get my mom down here though. I'm going to enjoy the Dam Tavern, and I want you guys to enjoy the Queen City, the city of Steeples. This used to be the second largest city in the state of Maryland, and then all the industry died, and you can kind of look around and see that things haven't quite been the same. My dad and brother found a way to strive. They own a commercial glass business here, a painting business, a locksmith business, and a couple other things. So they're doing good here. This is a good blue-collar town, good, nice people. Always feels good to come back home.
I am Dale. I'm Drew's dad. I'm just happy as heck that they're all here. I couldn't be happier. Yes, it was a surprise. Drew kind of maybe gave it away a little bit that something was going on, but you did good, didn't you? You kept the wool pulled over my eyes. I talked to you a couple times in the last week, and I had no idea you were coming. Yeah. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad they're all here. I'm even glad you're here. I don't even know you. He was, that's one of the only guys that I ever know, and it's my own son, it's one of the only people I've ever known who actually, from the time he was a little kid, knew what he wanted to be when he grew up. And he was about 8 years old, and he said, I'm going to be a professional wrestler when I grow up. And I said, you know, that's fake, right? And he's like, I don't care. This is what I want to do. And I never encouraged it. I can't claim credit for it or anything like that. By the time he got to high school, he was a pretty good football player. He made All-State his senior year and was playing football on a scholarship. And he called me and said, I'm going to give this up because I want to be a wrestler, and there's a thing out in Long Beach. I sent a tape to him, and they've called me to come out to Long Beach for Tough Enough was the name of it, right? Mm-hmm. So he went out for Tough Enough, did not make Tough Enough, and at that point when he was giving up the scholarship, I was like, you're going to do what? But turns out he knew what he was doing, I did not. He went out for Tough Enough, didn't make the show, but I still remember probably about a month after that, running a business and all that stuff, we didn't have an answering machine at the house because I didn't want to hear from people in the evenings, and at that time you didn't have cell phones. This was, I don't know, early 2000s, I guess. But anyway, the phone rings and he answers it, and it was Tommy Dreamer. And Dustin and I, his brother, still laughed at him for a long time because he was like, oh yes, Mr. Dreamer, yes, Mr. Dreamer. I mean, that's a stage name, he's calling him Mr. Dreamer. But anyway, Tommy Dreamer offered him this minor league contract to go down to Deep South, outside of Atlanta, and ply his craft down there and learn the wrestling business. So, you know, a month or two after that, I don't remember how long it was, we loaded up everything the kid owned in a Hyundai, and gave him a little bit of money, and he headed south, and the rest is history. He's done great with it. I can't say that it's something that I encouraged it, because I did not. I never thought it was anything feasible or anything doable, but he did it. He did it.
So this is Leslie Leatherman to my right. This is Jake the Machine Davis to my left. They both got way bigger all of a sudden. I'm the small one now, but these guys have been with me since the very beginning. They used to take me on a road with them, show me the ropes. They're a couple years older than me. They would film my matches. Brian would send them to the WWE when I was just a teenager. So if there wasn't the Highwaymen, there would be no Gallows. And we all have it on our legs. I don't like to show it because I got the smallest calf by far out of the crew. But without the Jake and the Brian, the double L, there's no Gallows. So every time we can get together and have a good time to do. Been up and down the road together. They've been to a bunch of WrestleManias and stuff with me. So our bond goes further than wrestling. We've been best friends for almost 20 years. So these guys mean a lot to me. And here we are in our hometown.
Best friends. So fuck you,
The
Carl Anderson.
circle just keeps on rolling. Like it's how we started. It's probably how we'll finish.
Well, I mean, I first met Drew when he was probably 13 or 14 years old.
You can bury me. It's okay.
No, I won't bury it, but he did. He came up to me in the gym. He was so excited. He was like, "I heard that you were going to a wrestling school when people still went to wrestling schools," and it was just it was neat. He's loved it since the first time I met him. And I always kind of joke around and say, like, to me, Drew is like the American dream. He is the guy that I know who, from the day that I met him, this is what he wanted to do, and he's worked and he's persevered, and he is the American dream. And ironically, I think it was his football coach that said, "Do you want to be Dusty Rhodes, or do you want to be?" And I was like, "Well, you are Dusty Rhodes. You are the American dream." You know?
It was a long road, but it began. I mean, as close as we are now, I absolutely hated him whenever I first met him. I can't.
That's true.
It's hard to even lie about it.
You can cuss on here too.
Leslie decided that he was just going to all of a sudden go on the road with us and start getting booked where we were already working, and he didn't even check with me or anything. And I only knew him as the teenage kid that came up to us in the bars and wanted to press on all my.
He did. He walked up.
My scars on my head.
He's one of those hardworking guys, aren't you?
Oh, look at that. Bleeding tonight? And he's
I
like,
was like,
"Get your fingers out of my face. You're not even
I thought
old enough to-
I thought his name was Big Mark for like the first 2 years that I knew him.
The best thing was that the first time we did a show, Jake was the champion and everything, and he came to do. It was just a little rinky-dink thing in front of like 15 people or something like that. But the promoter was
Victories
like,
are victories, man.
the promoter goes, "Yeah, we'll put you in a triple threat." He goes,
W's in themselves.
"Yeah, we'll have the new guy go over." And so that was a quiet ride home. It was a quiet ride
Not
home.
for me. I was oblivious to the fact I'd missed anyone off.
But honestly, it only took about a half a dozen car rides before a month or two, and then all of a sudden we were thick as thieves, and we've kind of been there ever since.
Oddly enough, that was the last ride in the Hyundai, though. That was the last time we went in the Hyundai. And
Yeah,
I missed that golden nugget.
It was a death trap. It really was.
We flew in today to surprise his parents. They were completely surprised, and it was awesome because, well, they're not completely surprised because Drew last weekend at the viewing of the Talkin' Shop Mania said, "We'll see you real soon" on FaceTime to his parents, and I was like, "Great, you just gave it all away." So when we showed up today, they're like, "We had an inkling." I said, "Yeah, I'm sure you did."
This kid here, just look at this kid here. He's a great looking kid. I still remember the night that Drew told me that Allie was pregnant and that we were going to have a grandson, and we kind of knew. He said, "I got something to tell you." We knew what it was, and this guy has been, you know, he's lived an unusual childhood. He really has, because he's been along on wrestling trips and just seen things that a lot of kids his age have never seen. And I'm not saying they're bad things, but he's had a lot of great life experiences that most people his age have not had, and he handles it well. He could be a basket case, he could be a mess, but he's got it together. He's a great kid.
It was cool to get up here because we don't get to come up here much.
And I always outfish you when I see you, right?
And the one time it's not 30 degrees, that's cool too.
But what about me? How about us fishing together? Who outfishes whom?
Well, I caught the biggest bass today.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you didn't have to bring that up.
That guy up there on the wall, we have no idea who he is. He just come in and put his picture up.
Oh, we love to have him back. I'll tell you a little story. A few years ago when we got the picture, a little boy came in with his grandson. He kept pulling on his pappy's leg. He says, "Pappy, Pappy, that's Luke." And he says, "Leave him alone. He's relaxing right now." "No, that's Luke, that's Luke." So he goes around and he introduces him to him, and he gets all excited. Drew, in like half a second, turns right into his character, sets him up on his lap and starts talking to him. This little boy was so excited, maybe 3-4 years old. He just was the proudest little boy in the world just because he got to meet Luke
Then today,
here in the damn tavern.
then today, when Drew walked in. I told him he was a week late. My granddaughters was in from Florida. Our granddaughters was in from Florida, and seen the picture on the wall, and I said, I know him very well. Well, they called me a liar. So today, Drew sent them a video to them that he was in the tavern, that he missed them. He was a week late and missed them, and they were very proud. He made 2 little girls very happy.
He did a little sound bite for them, named them by name, Lizzie and Monkey, and then they sent him back a video thanking him. They were so excited.
Yep.
Hey, Merle. That's Merle. They named that because they got him the week Merle Haggard died. And that's Cletus. He's the old fart. He's been around a long time. Where are you, Cletus?
The back part of this house is still the cabin. Bought it in 1997 for the kids to, well, we wanted a place a little bit away from the city. And place for the kids to party when they were in high school, and it worked out well for that. And the kids graduated high school. We had a house close to town, and I said, we're going to sell one of these to my wife, and she said, I want to sell the house in town and move out there. And I said, are you sure? And so put the house for sale. 10 days later it sold, and we moved from a 2,400 square foot house into an 800 square foot cabin, which is the back of this house now. And didn't kill each other. My wife was menopausal, but we didn't kill each other. We made it through that and built the house on front of the cabin, and here we are. We love it, and my wife paid it all for me. God bless her.
Here we are. Back at the old homestead.
But I'm gonna throw something.
I'll be right back. I just got to bring the old things.
See if Dale has a dolly.
We're like waiting for you to come out of the bathroom so I can hug you again.
I couldn't keep a secret either because I stooged this up last week when I was
know.
talking to you.
That's what I was telling her. I said, it's the same as our engagement. You're just
Well, that was a different situation.
I know you were caught hostage, non-violent
hostage
situation for 37
It'll
hours.
be fine. Nothing bad can happen. You need to open up the camera.
Your hair looks great.
Sorry, they're doing way better than me.
It's raining.
You're welcome.
It's raining.
Love you.
I love you too.
It's such a novelty anymore whenever like we get together like this. It's just really hard for all of us to get together like this, and especially during this whole COVID thing, you know, you can't just go traveling all over the place. So you get to see the people you love, you got to kind of take advantage of it.
Makes sense. However, there's a sliding plexiglass window.
What was the matter?
Yeah, we told Glenn and I were on both sides of the window. The
But I
plexiglass
said, like,
window,
listen,
what are
there-
we doing? Is that what it is?
This is my dad with me the day that they brought me home from the hospital. I was just asking what was going on that couch, and now I know where I came from, and I have the candy striped outfit on. But it looks like it was Ron Jeremy inspired, and it looks like there's some dingo boots. So
Yeah, that
no, there's a dingo box.
that was your.
Which means that was Big Ed's dingo boots.
That was no.
My name is Gino Gattris. I'm the third generation owner of Curtis's and Coney Famous Wieners. We're right in the heart of downtown Cumberland, Maryland. We've been here 102 years doing our famous wieners, brown mustard, chili sauce, and onion. And once you eat them, you'll love them and keep coming back for more. Drew, I've known him my whole life. I'm 52, so I've watched him grow up. And I'm going to tell you, truthfully, for the star he is the most humble, kind man. You could ask for a better friend. I'd call him anytime. You know, when you get to his status, you know, that's stardom. And I could call him, chat with him, text him, anything. Pick it right up if he's not busy, if he's not making money, entertaining, taking care of his family. But I'm gonna tell you, it is always a blast when he comes back into town. He will autograph stuff. I've got a hat now with every character he's been. I've got a hat signed by him. I got a picture on my wall of Drew. Booth 18 is where he got his contract with Vince McMahon, WWE, when he was moving to Atlanta. And every time he comes back, he signs autographs for kids. He chit-chats with everybody. He works out with a local gym. You can't ask for a better friend, person, father, entertainer. Like I said, humble for the money he makes and the person he is, you never know it.
We are headed to Curtis's, aka Coney Island. World famous wieners. It's been here since 1918. It's a staple of the town of Cumberland. It's a staple of downtown. Anybody who comes through town has been to Curtis's and had a Coney Island dog. So we're gonna go in here and see Gino, the owner. Been a big supporter of mine since I was a very young man. So I've been coming here since I was a kid, and it's a cool place. Here we are. We're inside.
All right, Drew.
What's going on, brother?
What's happening?
What's the word, man?
Doing good. Hey, I like the new beard now.
Oh, thanks,
There
brother.
you go. It's all done now. The back of my neck.
I saw the back of your neck. Look at that. Oh,
Then I got this one for COVID.
Oh, wow. You're all zipped up. I love it.
I love them babies. Oh, you beat on them all day. Huh? Yeah.
This is my
Hey,
wife.
how you
Bethany.
doing, man?
Right?
God.
Crazy,
Forever, man. God. He just a baby in the beginning
I
when he was here.
I know.
Can't believe it. How are you?
I'm his wife.
Gina, how are you? Great. Oh, yeah. Man, oh, man. You look great. Look at that. I love
See
it.
you, man.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, she's rocking.
Nice boots, yeah.
She's rocking it, bro. And I signed a contract in here many years ago. One of the first ones I was down here, and this place is a lot of memories. I used to come here with my grandparents. It was a big deal on Sundays. We'd come down here and called them sweats. They used to, before all the health codes, the old school guys would line the buns all the way up the arm to the armpit, put the dogs in, and then put the chili and the toppings all the way up. That's why they were called sweats. But yeah, I signed one of my first contracts in here. It's funny, I don't get to come back as often as I used to. There's a promo picture on the wall, but I think it's about 10 years old now, so it made me feel a little dated. They needed either an updated one, or I guess I'm just going to age with everything else. Cade's been here when he was little, but Beth has never been here. She's never been to downtown Cumberland before, so we were kind of riding around on the way in. I was showing her some stuff, and it's different than when I was growing up. But the same old staples are here, like Coney Island, for example. Gino's still here, rocking and rolling. Business is good. I'm glad to hear that. This place is a staple of the town. It's been here 100 years. This is, I didn't know they had this. This is the hot dog in a cup, so you don't have to eat the bun. I'm trying to do the low carb thing, and man, you get the full experience without the bread. I love it. Gino's an innovator. He's got a keto-friendly Coney Island sweat. I love it.
Oh, back to your original.
Yeah.
That's all the characters he's been is right there on that hat. He's autographed the very first one of his #1 there. See it? From Festus all the way around, man. I think that one, that Keith was what, when you were in China?
I was the first time I went to Japan. Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
One of my early wrestling memories was Jerry the King Lawler came to town, and my dad had dropped me off at the show, and I had like $10 in my pocket. I didn't have enough money to get a picture with him. Your dad was on the front row. He's a big wrestling fan.
Yes.
And he saw me standing there, and I was all down. He goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I want to meet Jerry the King Lawler, but I don't have another $10." And he took me up the front of the line and paid for me to meet Jerry the King Lawler.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
That's what we do, man. Oh, charity for us, man. We just give out our heart.
Yeah.
If you're a good person,
Yeah.
sky's the limit for what we do for you, man.
Oh yeah. It's
I think
the
we
whole
still
town.
have that one there.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's on the wall back there. I'm going to see and double check.
I was in high school, but your
Yeah.
your dad was there. He's on the front row.
Oh, he's a big fan
He took
of
me
it.
up there, and we met Jerry Lawler together. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something now? Him looking down now on us. What a crazy time, man.
Good stuff.
Autograph.
Yep.
There it is, 01.
Yep. That's the story. That's the night.
That's the night.
Sure is.
2001. We documented it. That's why you got to write on stuff.
Exactly.
There it is.
We're at my brother Dustin's house. It is my nephew Blake's birthday, and Dustin has constructed his famous homemade water slide, which consists of a hose, a bunch of tarps, and some very dangerous dish soap. So if nobody goes to the ER, we will be doing something good here today.
Go.
Go, Blake.
What we have here is Mountain Man Ingenuity. If you look, we got the homemade water slide that's way funner than anything you're ever going to buy in a store. Go to a hardware store, get yourself a half a dozen tarps, and you're not going to have more fun than this. And it's obviously for all ages. I think he's one, and he just had the time of his life. Yeah, it's definitely our goal to get Drew down this slide today. He'll stand there and talk about it, but then actually trying to give him that, for a guy that is as nuts as him and will do just about anything in this world, if you try to get him to do it, it's almost like don't prompt me kind of thing, so he'll be even forced to keep from doing it. So that's my goal. And if he gets close enough, he knows that somebody might give him a little nudge. A little nudge ski helps everybody.
That'd be a terrible idea. Someone's gonna have to give me the things or a ride.
I mean, look at this bag of ice. How much beer do you think people are going to drink? I mean,
I don't know. I got diet.
I am Dustin, Drew's brother, and Blake turned 7. He's the one in the t-shirt over there. And this is what we do every time, you know, all his birthdays. The slipping slides got bigger and bigger over the years. And, you know, then later, as it goes on, then all the adults start drinking beer, and it's usually a very long party, but we have fun.
These are family friends from when we were kids. It's funny because the grandparents, now the kids have kids, and we've all been hanging out together for as long as I can remember. So, hey Jeff, you want to tell them about the belt with the fish hooks? This is my dad's best friend, Jeff Munson, and we grew up with them. And the way that he kept us in line, well, I'll let him tell you, his disciplinary tool of choice.
I guess when you all was that size, we'd all be out in the kitchen drinking beer. Kids be in the living room, jumping, farting around, doing what the hell they did. If they got too loud, I'll just walk in and yell real loud, cut the shit out, or I'm going to go upstairs and get my belt with fish hooks. And man, did they straighten up. But ironically, no more than 10 years ago, they both asked me if I really had a belt with fish hooks.
I didn't find out till I was 30 years old that it didn't exist, but it kept me in line for a long time.
Oh, had them scared to death the whole time.
Yeah, we're real happy to have him here. That was a big surprise to Mom and Dad last night. Blake, I don't even know that he noticed that his uncle was here. I think there's too much going on. He hadn't figured it out yet. So, but yeah. Now Bethany gave Bella that Barbie, and you see she at least acknowledged her here. She hasn't set it down yet. Hey Bella.
We've had that since he was 9 or 10.
Yeah. It's our handshake.
Yeah.
Drew's doing awesome. We're real proud of him. I know, you know the story, but when he was, well, a little bit older than Blake, he decided this is what he was going to do for a living, and now he's doing it. So, living out his dreams. Pretty cool. Not many people can say they did that.
Wow, Bella Grace with the pretty face. Look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? Bethany picked that up for you. You can do a little spa day, huh?
You can open it.
You want to take it inside and open it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Come on.
And a little kid one too.
A little kid one.
A little.
Little.
Drew likes to play with Barbie.
That's true. I have my own Barbie.
Just shoot Barbie.
Well, goats seem to be a recurring theme in my life that I didn't realize until we started documenting things in my life, but there's more. My brother is too cheap to have this beautiful plot of land that he has here mowed, and he doesn't want to do it himself, so he just continually buys goats and lets them roam around the land eating the grass, which, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. So I don't know the current crop of goats. He had 2 goats that actually died of old age, which I didn't really, I mean, I guess all living things can do that, but I didn't realize they were that old, but apparently they were. And now he has new goats, and they don't look as hungry because there's a hell of a lot of grass out here. We're here at my nephew's birthday party, and then later tonight we are planning a surprise 60th birthday party for Mom and Dad. They have no idea, so kind of a double whammy surprise weekend. We surprise them by showing up, and then we're going to surprise them with the party tonight.
Okay, I think we need to find another.
I got my dad, one of my dad's favorite baseball players, an old Pirate, Jason Kendall, happened to be a wrestling fan. So I did his podcast, and we kind of became buddies, and he sent me he was a catcher, and he sent me a shin guard that he used in a series of games that they played. I don't know a lot about baseball, but he signed that, so that'll be a cool little surprise for him. So pretty excited about it. We just have to figure out how to distract them long enough to set up party number 2, because that's also going to be here at my brother's house. But I'm sure between us we can figure something out.
Happy birthday to you.
Watch out for sparks.
Happy birthday, dear Blake. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God. This is Drew and this is Dustin.
I do remember that.
Isn't he handsome?
Not funny, guys. Not funny.
So good.
That's your fault.
You did that to him.
I might have something to say.
We have a pinata full of, it must have 20 pounds of candy in it.
You can tell Uncle.
We're gonna have Uncle Drew hold it.
Drew's gonna get hit in the nuts. It's gonna be great.
I'm not holding it. Don't hit the nuts.
I think you heard me.
Jack, you have a cup.
Gotta hold it out for me. Kate's gonna
Oh yeah, Kate can do it.
No.
Yep. Kate wants to hit it. Hold it.
One more time, come on. Yeah.
to these pinatas, they come a long way. I said, growing up, I could just think of a Busch Light box and a piece of rebar.
It's the truth.
We're having a birthday party for Blake. That's my youngest son, Dustin's son. He's 7 today. Well, he was last week. And we had a big surprise because Drew came in with his family, his new wife, Beth, and their son, or his son, Cade. And I don't get to see him very much because they live in Georgia. And it was wonderful. What a great surprise.
It's just all good. It doesn't get much better than this, really. I mean, I don't get to see the grandkid enough anyway, and that's one thing we always do together. He likes to fish, and I got my buddy here teaching him to fly fish. It's all good. This is good times.
I couldn't be prouder of either one of them. It gives me cold chills when you say that. But, and you know, just like what just happened with Drew, he made lemonade out of lemons, man. He never stops. He keeps his fantastic work ethic. So did his brother. He works with his dad, and they have a company together. And it's wonderful to have kids that work hard and love hard and play hard.
You have to put a... Oh, that thing swallowed it, kinda. You know what else I always do when I come down here to see him? Beat him in basketball. Donut puppy.
You know what? Our court has reopened. I think they got the hoop back up.
It's a real whale, isn't it?
Family business is Glass Service of Cumberland. We bought it 16 years ago. We'll put glass in anything from a picture frame to a skyscraper, anything in between, commercial, residential. We're out here in the sticks in a small town, so we have to do a little bit of everything. 6 years ago, we bought a commercial paint business. Not the same thing. We'll paint your house, we'll paint a commercial place, do a lot of commercial industrial projects, just a little bit of everything. Anything to make a buck. Kind of like him.
What's the name of the painting business?
Hoyman Painting is the name of the business. When we bought it, we didn't change it. So yeah, there's our infomercial.
Cumberland, Maryland, and they also have a locksmith business in here as well, correct?
Yep. Locksmith and hardware. That's gotten to be a big thing with security issues these days. So yeah.
And how about you? What's behind us?
There's a beauty salon over here that it just made sense to buy. The property adjoins, so we have there's two sides to the house, and the one part is the paint business and the sprayers and the lifts and all of that, and my salon's in the front part. That's my mother, yes, and she started when she was young also. I went straight from high school to cosmetology school, and my mom is one of the most wonderful women in the world, honestly. About 20 years ago, she lost her leg to cancer and she actually worked for a couple years after that. And I've started working with when I was young, and I just wanted to continue to do what she did. She makes women feel good about herself, and that's very important to me.
The last time I was here a few months ago, and I remember the same ladies from when I was a kid getting in trouble in Grandma's salon for disrupting the business, running around at 6 or 7 years old trying to finagle a free fish sandwich out of Barbara Roquet.
God bless her soul.
Yeah,
huh?
she was the best.
This is kind of something I always wanted to do, was have my own business, and I don't know. Drew just kind of got that bug at a young age, and that itch. Aside from wanting to be a wrestler, he's always wanted to do his own thing, and he's doing it. Good for him.
I watched him get up every morning. Well, he got up before we did, and he came home after we were already home, and he busted his ass and gave us a real comfortable way to grow up, especially starting out very blue collar, the way that we all do and did. And he was a hot tar roofer when I was born, and now I'm always really proud of him and proud of all this because he came from nothing. That's a self-made man, and I always tried to model myself after that. So I think if you can instill that in your kids, then hopefully they have a good shot too.
It's the greatest thing for our kids to see him get up every morning and hustle and do everything, and also have grandparents that have their businesses just like on both sides. Both my parents
Same
are the
thing.
same
Her
thing,
dad was the
hardworking.
same way, and yeah, it's
Blue
I
collar,
I think it's very important to instill those values in your kids. I hope that we're doing it. They're seeing it. I don't know that Kate thinks any of it's not bullshit yet, but eventually,
He'll
he'll
figure it
understand. So that's the way that I had to too. I was a real shitbag for a long time during my youth, but
I never saw that.
You've outgrown it.
I don't think that at all.
I never
Good
saw that.
boys.
I mean, really, they always say that you go through that period where the kids just think the old man's an asshole. But unless I was just naive and didn't know they thought I was an asshole, I never thought I went through that with my kids. So that made me happy.
I always felt like the boys, Dale was their best friend, and that was just a wonderful thing that they. Drew always he tells us things he shouldn't.
yeah, he's the first person I call when I have a business decision to make, and when it's a triumph or a failure, I always call him, get his opinion, see what he thinks, run it past him. It's the first set of ears that I always use, and I've always trusted it. So it's a good thing to have.
Pretty damn cool.
We are at my grandparents' house. My mother's parents. Grandma's salon was down here for 50 years, and now it's home to what's left of his motorcycle collection. And we're going to go upstairs and say hi to Grandma. So I'm sure she'll be happy to see us.
Just put your end down. Yeah, stand on the bottom of the ladder. Hold on. Stand on the bottom of the ladder, baby.
I'm just slipping the finger first. I got it.
Watch it don't pinch you.
Is that one good down?
Let's move it over just a bit.
Yeah.
No, the other way.
All right, you guys hold me up.
I got a board there.
Don't let me fall. I'll go.
There you go. This might take 5 minutes. I can't do it myself. I used to get on the roof. That'll work.
You got this, Skippy. You want
I
me to
got
do
it. Nope, I got it.
Okay, Dale, you get on that side over there. I got it. When you get up there, Tina, hold one hand on the rain spout and the other hand on the what you reach it out with. We're not quite close enough, are we?
I'm fine.
I'm sorry. You all right? Is it full?
A little.
Watch your
Watch
face.
out.
That's a dead bird.
Ah!
See, that's
all
what
there
that's...
is, Dad. It was just one handful.
Old school, you know. Last time we were here, Josh Morningstar, who sang at the pay-per-view. As soon as he got out of his car, Pep shook his hand and told him to get the ladder. So, just the way it goes, man. Back home.
How long did you do hair before?
40 years.
40 years, and I'm going on 41 now. So
I know.
yeah.
Actually, it was longer than that, wasn't it?
You did. You
19,
started
well,
50.
1970.
Okay.
I opened my shop, but I started doing hair
59.
59.
We grew up here, you know, outside shooting with him and running around a beauty salon in the basement. So a lot of good memories here.
Oh,
And these two are the salt of the earth. You can't find better people than them. So.
Don't let them get a hold of that when you're wrestling.
I know, right?
That's the way we think of him. Yeah, we've raised beautiful children, and we've been married this year 61 years.
Wow.
My heart goes a mile a minute and keep saying, "Don't hurt him, don't hurt him." And he says, "They're not going to hurt me, Grandma." And I said, "Well, I just don't want him to get hurt."
That's what we always say. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
that
about when
way.
they bent that chair down over your head?
Yeah, that doesn't feel great.
They ought to have that stuff in there, really, because. And then them steel steps right there.
Yeah, they're the shits. That's why I got this. Where's
That's
that?
what I said.
This leg.
Yeah.
I hit the steps, but I hit the corner one night, and I didn't realize I was wrestling Sting in TNA the first time. But I hit the corner, and you had so much adrenaline. And then I got in the back, and I was wearing jeans and work boots to wrestle. Then we were doing a biker thing, and I took the jeans off, and my leg just exploded everywhere. But that's from those damn steel steps.
That's what we worry about.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have anything around like that because you know they're going to try to hurt you on it.
Bastards.
Oh, right here.
Oh.
Right.
Here, I'll go up this way and go up the hill.
All right. There used to be a shooting range thing back here that he had, and he made a, you'd hang the target, and there was like a wheel. I gotta ask him what kind of motor it was. And he'd flip a switch and it would send the target out, you shoot it, and then he'd pull the button and it would shoot it back. And I don't know how in the hell he made it or what the motor was made out of, but what was that? What was the motor that ran?
A washing machine motor.
A washing machine motor. And that's how he had the home raid gun range. So
He did away with that.
You know what? Forgot to take my hearing aid out, but I had it plugged.
this family is proof that some of the hereditary things that you hear out there are strictly myths, because they say that the hair gene comes from the mother's side. And as you can see, as I sit here at 36, and Pap here with great-grandchildren everywhere still's got better hair than Elvis, that it's bullshit.
It runs on my side. All my brothers bald. Yeah.
This is the house that I grew up in.
No, more?
I haven't been here since they sold it.
Oh, October 13th they sold it.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird to pull up and see it, because I mean, literally just my whole childhood is that's where I started wrestling. It was right here in this backyard.
When Drew played football, I had a little wooden helmet made for every guy on his team, and we filled the yard with all the football players and big signs, and both the boys played ball. This house, we were going to sell one. We got a wild hair, we were going to sell one. We were going to sell this or the cabin where we're at now. We said to the boys, which one? And they said, sell the house. So we moved to the woods, and we love it.
I just wanted you guys to be happy in your house. This was a great place to grow up, but you built your dream house out of the cabin. That house you were in, the house they live in now, was my dad's hunting cabin. It was like a vacation kind of thing, not far from here, and they built their dream house around it. And they, this is the house that we grew up in. So, what is it, 7 miles apart?
Yeah, it's not that far, but it's like a different
7
world.
miles.
Different world.
And here's Greg, the neighbor. What's going on?
Crazy neighbor, man.
Rap, how are you?
All right, didn't move back. What do you need to do?
That's right, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go get your wife. She'll flip out.
Well, she's over waiting on you.
How are
I
you?
told her. All right, man. All right, man.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you. A long time.
A long time, right?
Yeah.
Trampoline was right there in the center of the yard, and we had the POPCW, Palace of Pain Championship Wrestling. It was the best I could come up with because it's in a backyard of a house. So I didn't want to just call it backyard wrestling like the other stupid kids were doing back then. But a funny story is I was always trying out moves and trying to learn moves on that trampoline, and my parents went out one Saturday night, and my friend Bob and I were in the back, and I wanted to pick him up and try the Falcon's Arrow, where you get the guy up in the standing suplex and you bring him down in between your legs. We were getting ready to start football season. And I did the move correctly, except I didn't realize that you're not supposed to land the guy on your legs. So Bob was about 230 at the time, and he landed on this left knee, and I ended up having to have microscopic surgery, tore a meniscus, and I told my dad that I fell up the steps, because it was the only way I could think to say that the fall happened to kind of create the same bending of the joint, and he didn't believe me, and it wasn't true, but I stuck to the story until years later when I was a wrestler and I told the truth about it. But he was highly pissed off. It's funny to be in this yard because it's, 20 some odd years later, we went back to the backyard and had our own backyard wrestling pay-per-view, which is ridiculous, and I never thought it would happen, but I definitely thought it would happen when I was trying those Falcon's Arrows right here. Very interesting. That was my bedroom right there. Yep. I haven't been up there. I don't know what goes on in there now, but I know what used to go on in there. Nasty business. So my brother told me to get here now that I was screwed up the party. So I think that's how we screwed up you catching this on film. So I texted you guys, not realizing you didn't know how to get here. And I made them finish their drinks, and I told them that Cade was being bad, so he had to show up. But it was sheer surprise. Mom's been crying ever since, and will cry more. I think we did pretty good. They were genuinely surprised. It's Mom's night. It's her birthday.
Can I interrupt? I have to tell you, I have the best sons in the whole wide world, and they really surprised me.
Well, when the karaoke guy gets here, you can pay us back by belting out some sweet tunes.
Yes.
He's already here, so we got karaoke too.
Yes.
I'm completely shocked. I had no idea. You know, I thought the surprise was just the fact that Drew was here, and now all of our friends are here.
Our old friends from some long ago.
This is great. This is really, really nice. You know, I know you probably get tired of hearing all our shit about family and all that, but man, it's what a great family. I can't complain. I got no complaints at
And
all.
wonderful
other than
friends.
This idiot here.
Our life is so blessed.
Yep, life is good. That's all I can tell you. That's, you know, I'll
I
probably
can't
end up drunk
say
later and I'll
anything.
tell you that some more, but life is good.
They say, hey Buck, why do you drink? Well, why do you roll smoke? Why must you live about the songs your daddy wrote?
Well, there's not much explaining here. Mom's name's Tina, not Peanut. That'd be it. Not much of a story. The woman said, well, I asked you twice because I thought that seemed like a strange name. I said, yeah, I heard Tina both times. And she said, well, we can try to fix it. I said, I'm kind of in a hurry. And she said, I said, I just got to take it. It is what it is. She said, well, you want to take a discount? I said, I'm taking it anyway if you want to. So we got a discounted cake.
So this is it's a unique gift. I know you're not a collector, but it was really the guy just went out of his way because I told him that you know that you're a baseball fan and stuff, and I thought it was really cool of him. We didn't ask for it, and I don't even know what you'll do with it, but I just think it's kind of neat, and I don't want to put you on the spot and do it out there. So this is a present that was sent to me to give to you.
Okay.
It's a weird thing.
This is your buddy.
It's one of them.
This
He
is a
said,
Jason
he
Kendall
said you'll be
thing?
the only person that has one other than his mom and dad.
No way! How damn cool is that?
Oh my goodness, and it's signed.
How cool is that? Jason Kendall, if you guys don't know, played Major League Baseball for about 20 years, was a Pittsburgh Pirate for a good portion of that, the first part of it, and was just a hell of a player and a man. Back when baseball players were men, he was the guy. So, and somehow Drew knows this guy now, and that's just really cool to me. I like that a lot.
That's great.
Yeah, now you have something that Merv never had in his
That's
collection.
what I was kind of thinking. If you don't know what to do with it, at least you can show Merv you have it and he doesn't.
And he does not. That might be the best part of it.
You know?
Wow, what'd you say?
Happy birthday, Dale and Peanut.
Now wait a minute, my name is not Peanut.
Tell your son to get over here and help you. That's nice. That is.
Oh, hey, Peanut.
And he says, I think we might have a problem.
Give me your knife, Dale.
Did you see this?
I see that.
I said no one's ever called me Peanut in my life. Spikers are going out.
Happy birthday to you.
I got a lot of candles to blow out now.
Spitting on the cake now.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm and you all, everybody that knows me knows I'm never speechless, but I am.
All your friends are liars.
Thank you all.
Bunch of assholes.
Tina and Scott.
Tina and Scott.
You want to make an announcement and tell people to come sign up?
Yeah, let me get.
Do your thing. Yep, do your thing. It's his show. I'm just not used to not running the show, you know what I mean? A little after 9 p.m. Everybody's getting a little lubed up, so it's perfect time to start karaoke. Very excited for this. I think that by the end of the night, there's going to be some horrific singing going on. Hopefully I'm not a part of it, but there's no guarantees. You're welcome. You gotta reach for it now.
I don't see nothing on the screen. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, you gotta start over.
That's the only time something will go wrong when you got something like that coming up. Oh my God.
So I thought it would be funny to hire Hoot to do karaoke because his name's Hoot, but I didn't know that he wouldn't know how to do karaoke, and he doesn't.
Did you hear where Dustin went?
He left?
Yeah. Had to go to the shop to get a plunger because Cade plugged the shitter up.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as could be.
Summer days drifting away on a summer night. Tell me more, did you get very far?
This is Fort Hill High School. It's where I went to high school.
How you doing?
Football is huge in this town. It's like Friday Night Lights. There's two schools, Fort Hill and Allegheny, and they've been rivals. It's the longest high school rivalry in America. It's been featured on ESPN. So it's a big deal when you're a kid and you come out and play here, because that homecoming game, literally they'll have 8,000 or 9,000 people. Both sides will be full. And then people sit on these hills around here on blankets and shit like that. So it was kind of weird when I went to play Division II college football, because we came out and there were a couple hundred people there, and I was like, what is this bullshit? Because the high school stuff was such a big deal. But field still looks good. Kids are over here training. So I got Jimmy Furstenberg here. He was the guy who taught me how to lift weights and trained me in football and helped coach me, and he still does. He helps a lot of the local kids out. And he's got a son up here now as well, so let's go bother him.
I was telling him a story about the Playboys.
You can tell
God almighty. Oh, no, we had to be at the mailbox before you got home for some reason. I was like, Drew, what's going on here? And we didn't. That later that evening, I got a phone call from you, got reamed out. See, I had nothing to do with it, I swear.
Yeah, how old were you?
I think he was a sophomore or junior.
Yeah.
He had the Playboy subscription sent in the mail. I wondered why you were so interested in the mail all of a sudden.
I gotta get the mail every morning, every day.
But the other thing about it is he was working it the whole time, because he had like Dustin paying for part of it, and Jeremy Snyder paying for part of it, and somebody else. He wasn't paying anything. He was just the front man.
When you run the business, you shouldn't have to give up all your resources. You know what I mean? I still believe that today. So I had a sponsor even back then to fund my my habits.
I remember actually pulled up your house one time, and you had a ring set up. And I looked, there was 2 teachers there, and Dan James was one of the teachers, right?
Bob James.
And I looked, and you gave the elbow, he did a couple twirls, whatever, and all of a sudden you picked up a chair. And James, it was you and Cody and all you guys.
We would wrestle in the backyard, and it became like a thing in school because Mr. James loved wrestling, so he would play the wrestling matches when he was supposed to be teaching us. He ended up getting in trouble for it, but he came and wrestled with us one day, and he got so excited that he pulled out a real fire extinguisher and sprayed it in Jeremy Snyder's face and blinded him. So he wasn't allowed to wrestle with us anymore after that.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, when I met Drew the first time, his father brought him in the gym up in LaVale that I was working at, and is it a personal trainer or a lifting partner, whatever you want to call it? When you see a 6'4" kid come in at 8th grade, you're like, oh yeah, I'll make something out of it. I'll help him get to where he needed to be. And He's probably 6'4", honestly about 150 pounds. He's very skinny. And his goal was for his parents is get him ready for football. You knew about a month into it, he would go be. I mean, about 2-3 months into it, when he was giving people fake elbows and wanting to wrestle with them all the time, you knew the football wasn't his thing. It was going to be wrestling. That's all he ever talked about. We're proud of Drew. You knew he was going. We knew he was going to. I knew he was going to make it, and he just he was hell bent on making it. No matter what, he was going to do it, and. Regardless of what people thought and this and that, tried to be talked out of it and everything, he was going to do it. I mean, some of the craziest things I seen him do. He had a job. He left football and came to the house one time. I was like, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at football." And I don't think he told his parents yet. And then basically he had to end up getting a job. And he worked at a local place here called Southern States. And he had his work uniform. He showed up at my house one time at 7:30, but it's supposed to be at work. And I think he did this for about a week or two because he thought his parents would never know if he wasn't at work. He's at my house the whole time. It was 3 o'clock. I get home from work. All right, he's about out. Let's go to the gym,
I know Drew because I play football. I was a year behind him at Fort Hill. I was actually his backup at center going into my junior year, and they basically wrestled all the time. My first introduction to Drew Hankinson, honestly, was so they took the sophomores and they put us with the juniors, right, for a workout. My first introduction, they put us for a workout, and Drew, Cody Mackey, and they had a crew that would do wrestling moves. So we're sophomores and we're like, these guys are crazy. So Drew picks up a player, I can't say the name, and put him in a trash can, like power bombed him, and then rolled him down the hill. So somebody in my class, I'm not gonna say a name, you know who you are. The kid gets up because he was like, I'm not gonna take that. He goes back to the top of the hill. Drew picks him up again and puts him in the trash can, does the wrestling dance, and rolls him down the hill. I go home and tell my dad I don't know about this Fort Hill football stuff. I even remember lifting with these fools. So at the time I squatted my sophomore year was about 405. So they put me in their group at one point in time. What kind of sense does that make? Honestly, he's laughing because he remembers this. They all used to call me Gonzo. They remember this. So you got Cody Mackey, who's this tall, bench pressing a car, right? And smacking his chest, right? And then squat day, they love this. So Drew and them were like, smack, yeah, and there's dust, LeBron dust flying everywhere. I'm like, I'm a scientist. I am. I do research for a living. I knew I wanted to be a scientist since I was this tall. I did not want to be associated with that craziness. That's 100% facts. You can ask them, they'll tell you this. So they're bumping chests and stuff, and Drew put on, it looked like every plate in the weight room, and he's like, duh! And I'm like, I looked at Todd, I said, please, man, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. It was fun with those guys though. We had
a crazy class. Cliff was the only one who got kind of picked on though, because he would instigate it every day. He had the biggest balls ever. And then one day we're out here and I wasn't part of it. I was over here doing something else, and Cody goes, "Hey, do you think I could pile drive him and he'd be okay?" And I go, "I don't know." And he just picks him up and goes, bam! And Cliff was knocked out, and I was like, let's go.
We would come for our lifting period, so we would all go to class, and I had music with Drew, like first period, and then we had a couple different classes, and then we would go to football workout classes. So we're all trying to get ready for the football workouts because the coaches would push us hard. Like, we'd be out, it'd be snowing, and we're out running 200s and 300s, stuff like that. So we're all nervous about, the football workouts. Drew and them have this whole wrestling thing set up to where they're power bombing and doing wrestling dances, and you don't want to go down there because if you walk in there, you might become a victim, basically. That's what happens.
I quit, and they told me I had a week to think about it. So of course I didn't go to class or do anything productive. I just celebrated all week, and then I went back in for my meeting to confirm that I was going to quit. And I was very happy about that too, for standing up for myself. And then I had to call him, and he was not very happy about it. But he did take me and got me business cards made and said, if you're going to do this, you have to actually do it now, because you quit school, you idiot. So, but then they were supportive, and luckily it all worked out. I would have looked like a real idiot.
Well, I said, look, there's too many people that have these kind of dreams that end up living in their parents' basement or something. And at the time, we had a really shitty basement, so I didn't want him living there. And I said, you need to approach this as a professional and figure out how to do this and make it work for you. And then I guess the other thing that ties into that is when you were in New Jersey that time and we met in Frederick.
Yo, yeah. So we're I had one of his suits on. I had a briefcase of his. I had a tape, a resume, a promo picture, and we're standing outside this minor league ballpark, and WWE came.
They were doing like just a house show.
They were doing like a house show, and they had
Frederick, Maryland.
Just local security. So he's like, you got to go in there. You got to go in there. And I was like, you can't just walk in there. And he goes, well, you look the part. Just go in there. So when the security lady looked away, he just shoved me in the back, and then I was in. And I looked back, and he was like, keep going. And I was like, oh, shit. And I went in there, and I'm nervous as hell. And I I hid out in the trainer's room, and I asked to see Arn Anderson, who I still love to this day. And Arn came up and said, can I help you? And I said, yes, sir. I came here to give you this tape. And he was like, I'll make sure it gets in the right hands. And then they sent Timmy White, the old referee, up there. And he was like, look, it takes a lot of balls to come in here and do that, but you're not allowed to be back here. I'll be happy to give you a ticket so you can watch the show. So then I went out and watched the show, but that was my my first tape submission was the handoff to AA. I was nervous as hell.
So proud of my boys. They used to say they could hear my voice when they were on the line. And they probably could. And we had a lot of fun. When the boys were in school, we were here with our friends. We have friends that have children their age, so we were all here together cheering for our kids, and it was wonderful. It was a very good time in our life.
This is pretty cool. I like seeing him around, and then people recognize him, even just all around Cumberland, for them to, he's driving and people are waving at him, and I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh, so-and-so. We went to Walmart, he ran into somebody. So he's pretty popular here. So it's cool to see his high school.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that kind of history, because I wasn't a part of that part of his life.
He and my husband and I both graduated from here as well. We dated here our senior year. We dated, so there's a lot of memories here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's pretty neat.
I was really proud of him just because he made himself into something. It was obviously he wanted to be a wrestler, but for him the vehicle to do that was to get really good at football and get bulked up playing football, and then that would lead him into wrestling. But you know, this kid was, I'm sorry, but he was born with zero athletic ability when he was a little kid. He was uncoordinated. Of course, we were big for our ages when we were little, so tended to be uncoordinated. You know, I remember he played Little League baseball. I think he was about 0 for Little League, but except one day.
Yeah, one day.
One day. It was 4 for 4. But anyway, he made himself into something as a football player. He was All-State his senior year. I mean, this kid could play. He was the youngest kid in his class. And I think if he had another year, and we looked at that, we talked about sending him to a prep school for a year, he probably could have played Division I. So from a kid that had not much athletic ability, he really made himself into something. He worked really, really hard at it.
This whole episode has been a look back kind of at where I grew up, how I grew up, and the people that I grew up with.
That's the end of me.
Kind of formed me and taught me everything I know, and it's always, always, always fun to come back here to my hometown, Cumberland, Maryland, the park where we played in as kids. We're back here playing again. So here we are, closing out another episode. Thanks so much for watching. I'm supposed to be the cool one in the family, though I'm eliminated first at a game of horse, Hankinson family basketball. It's not taken too seriously, but there's a friendly rivalry between my son and my dad, and I am the bridge between the two gaps of them and the worst basketball player. So I've been eliminated. I'm gonna go sit in the shade, and we'll see who takes home the victory. Until next time.
Wrestling fans, you all know about that other big-time wrestling network. Well, there's another. Excuse me, we are not a wrestling network. Right. That may be true, but wrestling fans everywhere should know about ASY TV. With shows like Good Brother with the Big LG and family, The Bennetts featuring Mike and Maria Bennett, The UFO Show with Hall of Famer Amy Duma, A Travel Show with Eva Lise, legendary wrestling promotion OVW, Lockdown Living Room Comedy Show featuring Puppet the Psycho Dwarf, plus other shows with a wrestling touch such as Wrestling with Ghosts, Go There, Eat That, Toy Life, and many, many more. So, wrestling fans, it's time to add a new wrestling network. We are not a wrestling network. Right. We're not a wrestling network. Not at all. But, kind of. Subscribe to ASY TV now. Available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and at ASYTV.com.